Yeah. Hey, what's his name?
Aphrodite.
What? Aphrodite?
Aphrodite.
Oh no, that's too complicated.
The god of love.
No, gotta name it Alfie or something. Let me see. Can you open the doors of greatness here? All right. Can't go.
Mr. Marquez himself.
What do you got here, man?
The Pantheon in construction.
Nice. Wow, that's nice. See if I'm gonna get this down and back real quick.
Okay.
All right.
As long as you cut out the sides, because look, you can tell Justin's been here. You know the fucking Dr. Pepper cans.
Oh yes.
Go ahead.
Over the hole. On the back side. In the hole. Ooh. Oh, that was there.
Oh no!
All right, what's the score on this right here?
1. Got 1.
You got one? All right, this is it.
We're not. We're doing
No, down and back. You got to get 2.
Oh.
You got to get 2 points and you win.
Oh. I never played King of the Hole. I'm not even good.
All right, here we go. Nice. Feels like I'm taking this championship. Oh, now you really got to drag it.
Oh, I'm trash.
Oh, wow. Good way to end it right there, buddy. Good job. It's a badass sunset, bro.
Yeah, dude.
What's this place called? Field of Dreams? Or what is it?
Big League Dreams.
Oh, Big
So,
League.
you know, each of these parks are modeled after Major League ballparks, right?
Had no idea.
Yeah, so there's like one that's Fenway Park. So there's a small big green monster. I think there's a Wrigley Field. Like, and they're all miniature versions of the Major League ballparks.
Batting cages. Look, slow pitch softball. Wow. And so, cornhole players get to use this building. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Oh, you haven't been in here yet, huh?
No, I haven't been to the cornhole side. I've come here to umpire when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, dude. This place is cool. What's up, Bubba? Yes, sir. All right. It's on me, bro. You want a pizza? You want some chips? You want a water? You want a beer? Whatever you want.
Oh, look at those. Sounds pretty good.
The pizza good? Yeah, it looks good. That means it's good. It's got to be good. Oh, yeah. Attaboy. All right. Damn. What are you going to get? I'm going to wait till you see what you get first.
Pepperoni pizza and a McFlurry.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do pepperoni too. Yeah, I do pepperoni. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Together. Hey, you hungry? You thirsty? You want something? Come on, you know you're thirsty. Come on. He lying. I will have a. What has the highest alcohol content? Because I'm a whiskey drinker, and all that's like water to me.
Celsius, I think, are higher.
I drink tequila or whiskey, so this is kind of. In that case, I'm gonna do a. Let me do a Michelob Ultra. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I don't have a time. You know?
Let's go.
Nah.
And then if he loses, I can say it's probably because you weren't throwing these. And
That's
then
right.
It's the C4C button.
Tell him. Tell him. Beautiful. Oh, wow. There he is over there. There's that sumbitch right there. Oh. Hey, did you see the back of the jersey? Right there? Wow, that's cool. That's badass. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, what's going on,
Doing
bro?
all right? Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh, he snuck in there. Help the Howards. Hey! Oh my God, TV's in the house. Woo! Nice. What's up, brother?
How are you? Welcome. Welcome
So-
to league night.
I love the shirt.
Look, I thought of it last. This was. I didn't even think of it until.
Oh, I love that.
This is the original one.
That should be a tattoo.
The stick figure guy.
Yes.
We're gonna throw these little tonight.
What's up, brother? Who are you playing right now?
J-Rod, John Lopez.
Okay.
We only have 2 more games. We've been going back to back.
So next week is the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like in
All right.
So I ended up leaving the house, going to find him, and we got the bag together, but there's some of them that got
Sucks for.
He's fine.
Oh, wow. That was fancy.
Totally distracted leaving my house and getting back. So I was going to
So what's the placement right now with you guys? You're first?
They're second.
Ah.
JD and Dino are second.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know who's third. Oh, there you go.
Let's see here. Oh. Okay. So y'all about to knock him off the ledge, right?
Absolutely. Like we do every week.
All right. You got to defend home court.
C4C are just spread out the highway. My traffic cones just across the highway. He brake lines. He said a little bit of pressure, let him like slide like 55, but like he had no brakes. Boom.
He's feeling it.
Yes, sir. That was just no.
I thought that was live. I thought that was live.
Let's check the tape.
Something like that.
I got a remake on this motherfucker. He was like, it was pretty Yeah, this is awesome.
I'm always on the boundaries, right? So
Hey,
what we
you gotta
know
be kidding.
is live.
How much? Like $1?
However much any amount. And then they write down their name that many times. Or they get that many tickets. They
Right.
get that
However
many
much they pay.
tickets. Right. So if it's $20, 20 tickets. And then what you do is whoever, they draw a ticket, whoever wins it, they go back out to the community and use it for a good cause.
Right.
So like I believe,
Every week.
yeah. So I believe Rob Price was last week's winner, and he went out to the book fair with his kids
Yeah.
and used all the winnings for the kids' book fair.
Buying books. I used to love getting that book thing at school.
Really?
Yeah. Hey Silva, dude, you look like Mufasa, dude. That hair, that's badass.
Hey, so get me on a clip because I'm gonna.
Yeah. You got Mufasa, and you got Simba. Simba.
Thanks. Everybody thank Glenn. It's been a big part, just like all the other guys helping us out. All right, Olympus got in on it too. We've got Kratos and Apollos coming out within the next week. All right, get on those, get those ordered up. All right, I've got a set in my hand right now if you want to see them hot off the press. This is just one of the colorways, but they're here. All right, thanks everybody.
Yeah, he is a Boy Scout, JD. He's a great dude.
He sounds like he's from California with his accent.
You ever listen to Jim Jordan?
Jim Jordan?
Politician?
Jim Jordan, is that what Jim Jordan says?
That's JD. And they're from the fucking. It's like they're both Ohio boys.
Jim fucking Jordan right
All
there.
about JD was a D1 basketball.
So you got Michael Jordan, and you got Jim Jordan's disciple.
Jim Jordan was like a D1.
Hey, washes don't get better than that. When are you gonna release those?
I was thinking in state.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
So yeah, I've just been, dude. I've got like this huge creative block. I've got this like creative design block right now going. So I was asking you the other day about the designs. It's like, what do you want? And you were like, I don't know. And I was like, God damn it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's if you live in a creative design block, that's the world that I'm in. Like, every day. People are always like, well, when we're doing jerseys or anything, like I'm as plain as plain. Like I don't wear jerseys. I've got like, give me a nice soft T-shirt all day long, and so that's what But like Todd and our guys that help me, they're all like, wait, JD, and I'm like, do it. I don't like. You don't want my opinion, and I don't want to give. I don't have an opinion. And my wife, she finally, after 21 years, has learned that like when I say I don't care, like legit,
you don't.
I really
Oh, but they're still
don't
gonna
care.
ask.
Oh yeah, my wife's a trap. My wife's
You
like,
get
I
the
don't
center
care.
seat.
She says, I don't care, and then I'm like, oh, that's not true.
Oh, yeah. It's like they can't figure out what they're gonna eat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Look at these beautiful. Oh my god. So, well, you know what? We gotta display them like this.
I'll prop them up.
Stand up.
Need another one.
Yeah. I think this is the last day it's gonna rain, right?
It feels like.
And my house is so flooded. It's so bad. Of course, it's not until it floods that my dogs want to go out 70 times in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, they track so much mud into.
Cool.
We turfed our whole backyard. I mean, we've got 2 acres behind the house, but we put a small area, turfed it, put like retaining wall to keep it all level, it's been the best thing ever for the dogs mostly, right? Because it's wooded, so there's it's just mud and it's just and so now there's nothing to worry about.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I keep going back and forth because we don't know if we're gonna stay in this house, and so we're like, I keep investing money into it, and I regret it immediately.
Might as well.
And I don't. And I'm just like,
At least for the foreseeable future.
yeah. That's what I like with the shop we put up. We just did a not permanent structure, so if we ever have to, we can just grab this up and go.
Yeah.
Because we've already put $25K in that shop, and we're half off.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I'm about to drop some more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're worth about $10,000 in canvas.
Okay.
High speed footage, a lot of like one-on-one stuff with Burton and Logan and those guys to put out there because that content's not there, right?
Right.
People want to talk to Justin and Logan and Sammy and all these people. They want to talk to them, but when can you see them? If you don't live in the area, you're gonna see them at SIG. Well, at SIG, it's not really the time to go pick their brain about anything in the sun. They're locked in trying to play. Right?
Yeah,
Those guys are gonna be there at the end. That's not a great time to jump in and start asking how to fix my throw.
Well, even at that, you can only get so much information from them telling you. I mean, it's the footage, right? It's the frame by frame of this is where the angles are at. This is
right, and that's the other thing too is Logan is not quiet by any stretch of the imagination, but Sammy and Justin are relatively quiet as people, and once they're comfortable, that's not the case. Right, we've got all kinds of jokes, and we talk. It's just regular. He's open. He's just another 20-year-old kid around us.
21 now, right?
No, not 21 until he won't be 21 until November 7th.
Oh damn.
Yeah, him and actually my youngest son is born on his birthday.
Oh okay.
So we were supposed to be playing league, and my wife decided to have the baby that night, so we lost all our games.
How many kids y'all got?
We have two.
And
Two
and
under
JD?
two.
I've got 3, all of them 16 months apart. 2 biological daughters, an adopted son. Graduated the oldest one last year. She's at UTA, and then the other 2 graduating this year. So we're into that season where trying to figure out what it'll look like. But yeah.
So I have to ask you, to both y'all, because both y'all's kids are older.
Yeah.
I expect you to give me the straight truth, assuming our wives won't look at this. Do you actually miss the newborn phase? Because right now everybody keeps telling me you're gonna miss the newborn phase and baby phase, and I think they're full of shit.
You want to go first?
Well, they're all different. So there's some that are like, if it was a crybaby, no, I do not miss that at all. But if you got one that's like, she was just so lovey-dovey, then you're like, oh yeah, I missed that. So it
Oh yeah,
just
see,
depends.
I have 2 sons. Neither of them are lovey-dovey. Like, Heath is about to, on June 3rd he'll be 2, and he just wants to knee drop and flying elbow onto Wyatt when he's trying to rock in his bouncer or something. So there's no lovey-doveyness. It's just pain in the assness.
Well, I just have girls, so.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
I'd say the same. I mean, I think, but there reaches a certain point where, like, that you're not gonna break them. So infant stage goes till for me when they could roll around and you could play around a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Like that's the part that you're comfortable and it's fun and all of that.
Yeah, I would say that. I'd say that with Heath for sure.
And I think the first, like, there's not a part of me, and you can even ask my wife, like, there's not a part of her that missed, the first.
The 0 to 9 months.
Yeah.
Especially when they're crying, you don't know how to stop it.
They can't communicate. There's nothing
Well,
you just
like everything's so funny, but like I'm mostly serious. You know how frustrating. So she goes to work, right? So I do bags and I do Olympus full time. So I work on bags when I can, or when the children are sleeping, or whatever, and then working on answering messages, doing designs, whatever. But my wife is the manager at K Jewelers, so she leaves. So I stay home with the kiddos and do that. And I'm like, do you know how big of an inhibitor it is that these suckers don't work?
You get a discount at K?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah?
Very much so.
All right.
You should definitely go see her.
Just to know.
Yeah,
cool.
She would definitely take care of you.
All right. Hey, tell me about the. We didn't even introduce.
Oh.
Y'all introduce yourselves to the.
Are we live?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know we were live.
There you go.
That's the way we do it around here.
Just turn it on
we
and
just
go.
smooth it in there.
True,
Just kinda,
true.
Yeah.
Glen Nipp, owner of Olympus Cornhole.
Yeah.
I've been on before. It's just been a
Yes.
while.
I'm JD Thompson. I've been the operator, founder, director of Caring for Community since 2011. We run out of Mansfield.
So it's Caring for Community.
So, right.
Okay.
So,
I had the same question.
So we are a full-on 501c3 nonprofit. Caring for Community is the name of the nonprofit. Cornhole, we like to say that Caring for Community is who we are. Cornhole for Community is what we do, right? But it's funny because I'm trying to do all the paperwork right, to start. So I go to the bank and I want to open this new account for Cornhole for Community, and the guy at the bank right off the bat is like, "Have you ever thought about any other names?"
Yeah.
And you got to remember, like 2010, 11, like cornhole wasn't what it is, and like especially in Texas, like you say cornhole out loud and people are giving you looks and looking around,
looking at you like
right.
Hey, what are you
And
doing,
so
boy?
it was like on the fly right then. I was like, well, what if we did Caring for Community with a DBA as Cornhole for Community, so that I could answer in all ways? And he's like, I like that. We'll put Caring for Community on like the official.
But when you started the Caring for Community, were you already in the cornhole?
Yeah, so we started by a small group of guys, saw a need, and we wanted to raise money for them, and so we're like, at the time, I'm from Ohio, had been throwing bags. I mean, not anything like the typical backyard bag thrower, right? But when we moved to Texas, 2009, when we came back, I only knew of me, my buddy Matt, his brother, and his brother's friends. And as far as we knew, we were the only 4 people in all of Texas that were playing cornhole.
2009, that's pretty much when TCO started, right?
So, ironic, yes, about the same.
Yeah.
Because we were doing this, we would just battles in our driveway, that's it. And then the need came up for do a fundraiser, and we said, well, let's host a cornhole tournament, because we're too old to play like 3-on-3 basketball, because that would have been the go-to. But
I don't know, we've seen grown-ups, that would have been entertaining.
yeah, I'm sure it would have been entertaining, right? Healthy, all those things. So that's when Cornhole for Community was born. That tournament was the first Cornhole for Community tournament. We had no idea what we were doing. We built boards like the night before, painted them, so I mean you can imagine how that played.
And where did y'all do that?
So we were supposed to play at a park, got rained out. I called my buddy who was the general manager at Big League Dreams at the time. They had just recently opened, and they happened to be closed for that Saturday because of the rain and everything. And he let us play in the. So the first time we ever ran an event.
Badass.
First time we ever ran an event was in the field house at BLD. We ordered T-shirts for 80 teams because that's what you do when you're planning something for the first time ever. T-shirts for 80 teams, had 17 show up.
Wow.
And
And that box of shirts floats around for 5 years.
Dude, I'm still giving them away. I've got some green ones and some blue ones that say "Help the Howards" on them, and they're now vintage. But
I'm surprised you didn't go around like to, those the homeless guys that are sitting around there. Just give them, hey, what size are you?
So we've done that with shirts since then, and like I said, I've weeded out a lot of them, but they're still around. But I mean, even that event, right? For as little as we knew what we were doing, as poor as the equipment was, people kind of rallied. We got our first ever sponsor. Didn't even know what it looked like. Didn't know how to ask. Didn't know anything.
Who was the first sponsor?
Donnie Franklin is a Optum. He makes glass eyes. Like it's a really, there's like 4 of the guys in the world, right?
Wait, you mean like mix the actual glass?
Yeah, like if you
themselves.
lost your eyeball, you'd go to Donnie's office, and he's an artist. He's there's a real science to
Like
it.
Last Action Hero.
And right, just like that, he probably did his. But so he handed us a check. Like we just people knew that we were looking to do a fundraiser here, and he just handed us a check, and he's like, here, you do $500. Like I didn't know that was the going rate. I didn't know anything about it, but like the first person that believed that what we were doing was gonna matter started us off like that, and we were able to give that family we wrote them a check for $2,200 at the end of the day.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
and just fumbling through it. And now in 2022, last year when we ran through it, We were a part of raising about $68,000, and we as an organization gave away about 21 ourselves.
Cool.
So like we partner with everybody else, help you do your fundraiser.
So is that's how you help the community kind of like specify, target, we're going to help this family, you know, like that?
Right.
It's kind of hard to help the whole world or the whole city with cornhole.
No doubt,
because, you know,
no doubt. You can't.
People want to get paid when they play.
What we've
yeah.
What we have found, you know, is kind of how it works for us is, you know, originally we were going to just run one tournament a year, maybe 2 tournaments a year for a specific cause, like help the Howards or any of them that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
But what we found is that, like you said, you can only help so many that way.
Mm-hmm.
So our model now is that we are open. We run tournaments for anybody that wants to run a fundraising tournament. Your softball team, your local animal shelter, your, whatever. And so they come to us and they say, hey, will you facilitate our tournament? So we run a tournament, they make a donation to C4C, that builds up into our account, and then at the end of the year, typically in November, we will run what we call our signature event of the year. And so for that, we go out, we solicit sponsors, we put on as big of a show as we can for that one event, and we empty our bank account to one particular organization on that. So throughout the year, we're helping 10 or 12 different organizations, and then at the end of the year, we pick one, we focus completely on that. This past year, we partnered with an organization called Cloud Cover Streets of Fort Worth. They are a mobile homeless. They provide for the homeless, and so they have a big trailer. It's got bathrooms, showers, and washing, like laundry. And so they go and they park it, and the people will come up to them, use their services.
And it's mostly in the Mansfield area?
In general, for us, like our focus, anywhere south DFW. I mean, that's kind of where, our heart is in our community, right?
Right.
But
But if you could inspire another C4C in another community,
we would
kind of franchise it out.
We've never we've never said no. That's too far. I was up in McKinney running one for an old friend that was doing a fundraiser. I mean, if someone reached out to us, we were signed up to run one at Grayson College, and something happened that they weren't able to do it. But like, again, they contacted us and I said, hey, look, that's not really our area. I could hook you up, but there's some people in the area that are throwing, some players that are down there. They could run a good tournament for you. And they said, no, we attended one of your events and we want you to do it. And I was like,
hey,
okay.
Speaking of events, like, I feel like this is the first time I saw you up there running an event at TCL.
You haven't been looking close.
Oh man,
What, you were cracking the whip, man.
He used to be the guy.
You think
this year?
You
right?
think I cracked the whip now with Cornhole? Just wait.
Nobody was cracking the whip before.
Bullshit on Brackalow. That was the tightest whip there ever was.
Do you know Brackalow?
Well,
you've heard stories of
Signature
series.
I started going to SIGs like when Brackalow was starting to fade away, and it started to be
So my very first event was state of 2021. I don't know. It was the last time we were at Denton for state.
Okay.
Whichever one that was.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about championship. I couldn't tell you anything other than my experience. And my first experience was we had no idea what we're doing here. We found this on Facebook. We're coming up here. And I remember trying to go up, walking up to you on the riser and like just staring at you, and you were like, "What?" And I was like, I don't know what to do here. And you're like, did I call your name or are you telling me something? And I'm like, I just played a game. And you're like, what was the score? No idea.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean back in the day, we had an iPad and the tiers model has been around. We've been doing it, but we used to do drop downs instead of qualifying tiers, which meant that everybody entered the same tournament, and then depending on where you fell out, you would drop to a different tier. And so in Brackalope days, we had to watch that bracket. We had to call out, CJ and Glenn to court 4, and then one of you guys, the winners, were responsible to come back and tell us. We weren't doing like necessarily points, just, hey, I don't have time for that, just tell me who won, hit it and go, because we're running 13 brackets at a time in front of us on all different iPads. And so yeah, people used to get plenty annoyed at my voice, and I couldn't talk. By the time we were done on Saturday night, I couldn't talk. Before Jackalope, you were using just paper, right? Paper and pen. Yeah, that was kind of before I didn't come on, and so I mean, I played, you know, probably until Signature Series got so big that one, you know, I wasn't getting any better, and everybody else was getting better, and I was
you're
like,
pretty good though. I mean, you're definitely a B player, right?
yeah, probably. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
He's gonna bastard. He's gonna destroy us.
and then he doesn't even use like these. Oh my god, that's like the latest sickest bag. Like he uses like these old bags.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Remember he got kicked or banned from a tournament or something on the.
I did. Yeah, big controversy. One of my own events, I was throwing. So, I've got this.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got this stubbornness, right? That if I'm, and which is, we'll get to it in a minute, but like if I'm gonna throw bags, I've got some bags that have C4C logos on them, and I'm gonna throw those. And you know, if they're not the latest and greatest or the fanciest, like I'm gonna rep C4C because, you know, really
You're here for a reason.
Well, and as my limited abilities with bags is only gonna go so far, right? So I might as well throw these because you'll have no idea how many people come up to me and be like, "What are those?" And I'm like, kid, you know, these were back when you were in 3rd grade, you know.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
So I had some. They were original TCL Sheriffs, and they were one of the first custom bags that they ever did.
Oh, the Reynolds Sheriff.
Yeah, but they had removed the branding from within Reynolds, so they were just Sheriffs. C4C logo right in the middle, and so I was throwing them at one of our singles events earlier this year, and my director of operations for C4C came up to me and he's like, "Hey, you know you can't." I threw them through rounders. He said, "You know you can't throw those." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't throw them? They're stamped." And he's like, "No, they were on the list this year. You know, you can't throw Sheriffs, can't throw the Gamesmanship, whatever. They're on the list." And I was like 100%. I didn't know.
Did somebody complain?
Nobody complained. Now, I mean, they wouldn't, right? Because they just saw these old carpet bags that like nobody cared, and
I think they were 4/8 speed, didn't they?
Oh,
yeah, they're pretty.
they were well trained.
Yeah, on all those bags, and I
Right.
Yeah.
They were
either 5/7 or 4/8. I think it was a 5/7.
They were well trained,
like
you know, and they just, you know, they just fit, and it's one of those things like, you know, no offense to the bag makers out there, right? But like, I don't get the constant change, but it's like I find something I'm comfortable with, right? And
that's how
I would just go with it. But like I can definitely appreciate because I've seen it change the game,
Right.
and you know, for those guys and the collector, I mean, now people are collecting bags for all kinds of reasons,
Right.
and they don't always just relate to the next game that I'm gonna throw, right? It's just kind of out there.
First time I played you was at I think it was in Irving. I was playing open for the first time, and you had those C4C bags and kicked my ass. And I think you were playing doubles with George Strait or Straight George or what? Dwight Strait.
Dwight.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Man, they were good.
I was gonna say with George Strait, I was like,
Yeah.
I get George.
Yeah, we were playing doubles, and you know, I was like, man, I can take this guy because you know, Dwight Strait was just, you know, he was sitting down and like he'd get up and throw and he'd sit back down again. I was like, this guy's tired. I got him. No man, they were freaking, they were throwing.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's when I knew you were good. That was the first time I, you know, had an encounter with you. I was like, man, this motherfucker can throw back.
yeah.
I just think about like you know, I throw Tuesday night league with my guys, and you know, and I think
that's why you're good too, is because you don't give a fuck about how a bag looks. You just like, this feels good.
Yeah.
Well, it feels good. It has my logo.
Well,
It has my logo. I'm gonna throw it better than any other.
This is why it's a so
you
have.
were on board bullies, weren't you?
I mean 100%. My brain thinks like throw it down the middle, and good things happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I try
Easy game, right?
at league night. At league night, I don't bring my own bags because I'll throw with whatever. Hey, you know, we go to Switch Holios. I try not to like. I want to be able to throw anything. I have when I do practice, which I don't usually. It's just bag therapy at home.
Right.
But like I'll take a random 4 sets of bags, and I'll just stack them 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know they all have different characteristics and they all play a little bit differently, and I will play myself throwing those 4 bags because it's taught me to slow down. It's taught me to, think about the shot because, the bag whatever order that those 4 come out of the hole and stack up in, I throw one and then, I have to think about like, all right, well, this one's a little slower. How do I want to do this one? Or this one's a fast one. And you throw that one. And so it's trained me, one, to be diverse across, bags. It's taught you to slow down. Now the problem with that is I don't really have any shots. Right, like I'm gonna throw an airmail and I'm gonna get some angles.
You got straight in
and that's all right. And so you play the angles a little bit and but like I tell people all the time, like if I'm short of the hole and in play, then things happen, right? With everybody that wants to, I tell the worst spot you can be is anywhere behind the hole. Those are dead bags.
Yeah.
At
just
minimum,
making bumper rails for somebody else.
Right. At work, and maybe it's you, so it helps you, right? So maybe if you're a little short of the hole, or you've got things you can work with, and it at least is in play for something, right? But bags off the back of the board or even behind the hole, like those bags are meaningless. They don't, and so I'm never trying to throw hard at the hole. My first bag is never trying to throw hard enough to make it. Right, it's throw hard enough to leave it
in the middle,
right in front of the hole. Like I'm not trying.
Give them something to think
I'm
about.
not throwing blockers. I'm throwing a bag that I want to sit right here, just so that you've got to think.
It's almost like you're just trying to just get that feeling of,
Right. Yeah, because now I don't have to make that one. You can make it.
Because it's weird. Like when I throw my first bag, and if I miss it, even if it's to the right or left, I feel automatically more confident on my second bag. I'm like, oh, okay, I know where to throw the next one. I feel more confident for some
So
reason.
yeah, I've actually, me and Justin talked about that a lot. I always tell him so I used to be my 4th bag is a problem person. Like I just can't. I'll throw a 9, and then I'm shanking that last bag. I don't know. Ankles are not safe, whatever, right? Like I'm missing that 4th bag, and I've since then come a lot further to where now it's honestly my first bag. It's like I need that first bag as almost like a gauge.
That's what I think that's what you're doing, but you're being safe with yours. Like I'm trying to get in the whole gauge.
Right.
You're like, I just want to get on the board.
So
right in the middle.
And I was better at that before all this PPR stuff. Because at that, like I could be okay throwing a 6 because I'm gonna have mine in, they're gonna pile them up, and then I pile them up, and like 6s are fine if you're scoring points and winning, and 6s are still fine if you're scoring points and winning, except for everyone wants to compare you on your PPR, and I'm like, well, I gotta stay above an 8 or an 8.5 or an 8.9, wherever you might be, and it changes the way that you play.
That's super. I think that's a pretty unique take. That everybody thought PPR was the best thing for cornhole, right? It's a better way to stat track. And it is, but I think it serves both. I think it's both the best and the worst thing as far as a player to know your PPR. Because before you were tracking your PPR, you weren't worried about your PPR. You were worried about winning the game. Now, I mean, I can tell you firsthand because I worked on flopping so much, it messed up my throw. And if you haven't seen the first time we were on the dojo,
you had it.
Go watch the first time on the dojo. It was terrible, but I could flop.
Yeah.
And so I was so worried about that and flopping that it messed up my straight in the whole game. So then my PPR is a 5. Sure, I hit a roll shot, but my PPR is a 5. And then I started freaking out. Oh, okay. Well, now I need to start getting my bag flat and going in the hole and doing all those things. And then I'm starting to track my stats. And I'm like, oh well, I missed this bag. Well, now I'm at a 7. Now I'm at a 8.
Did he tell you about his idea about putting like cameras all over his board so he can capture information and data?
Yeah, so with the shop,
I'm for it, man. I'm for it.
It's
I'm
gonna be
for
cool,
data
man.
wherever
I don't
you
want
can find
to
it.
put out too much because there's people way smarter than me that'll turn around and do it before me. But we're gonna put a lot of time into figuring it out. We've got the #1 player in the world right now living in my house. Right? There's no reason to not take advantage of his knowledge and his game, and then the 3 of at least the top 10 players in the world right now just circle in and out of the house regularly with Sammy Soto and Logan Chamberlain.
Well, hopefully that'll improve your game as well.
So I will say, I feel like this last SIG, I did not do any good. But I'm more proud of my success at this last SIG than I ever have been because it was just comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my main problems as a thrower is I get up to the board and I feel uncomfortable. I'm trying to do too much. I'm overthinking everything, and I got to the SIG and running, especially because it's running the booth too, and that transition. Anybody that's been in the customer service industry, it's like taking a phone call from a friend the second you get off work, right? It's like that conversation's uncomfortable.
Right.
And it's the same thing here, right? You're like, I'm going to throw as a player, but I have to turn around and work the booth as the owner of Olympus. And so it's, your customer service face, laughing, talking, and then you're like, oh, let me lock in. And like, cause I'm one of those that like, when I want to lock in and focus, I'm quiet, right? Most of the time I'm very personal, very loud and about, but like when I'm playing, I don't want to talk.
It's hard for me to be sensitive to my wife at work. Like if I'm in work mode and my wife's, I can tell she wants me to give her like 10-15 minutes of just listening, whatever, and I'm just kind of like, fuck, I got shit to do.
Dude, oh my God, that is so
God.
true.
But she can see it on my face. I'm just kind of like.
So that is
like,
actually, that's funny you say that.
Yeah.
When I'm at home making bags, normally somebody will be there from like 5 to 7 before my wife gets home, so they'll watch the kids for a little bit, so I can go in the garage and start knocking out bag stuff. And she'll call me, hey, just letting you know I'm way home. All right, cool. And just kind of sit there in awkward silence. And she's like, well, I just want to talk to you for a minute. I'm like, okay, well, I'm listening, but I'm like, I'm in work mode, right? Like I want to work. I'm trying to get stuff done, and it's not that you don't want to talk. It's not that you don't want to be available. You're just like, I think we're much more animalistic and single track minded than we think.
Yeah.
And it's like that for me in cornhole. Whenever I'm at the board, I want to focus on cornhole. Like I love talking to all the customers that support Olympus, and we couldn't do what we do without them, right? And I love talking about the bags. I love talking about your questions. I love, giving previews. I love doing all those things. But when I'm a thrower, I want to be a thrower. I don't want to be a bag
that's
maker.
why I didn't realize that he had more experience up on the booth, running stuff because I
he's a badass thrower.
I'd say you played the game, and you didn't play this last SIG, right?
No, it's for the same reason, right? That like I've tried to help up there as much as, and there's a really good team between Nick and Ashton and Eddie running things down and Marie helping wherever she can, and and so we've got a good team up there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a certain responsibility that comes if I'm helping, I'm helping. Well, I've played singles sometimes in SIGs just to get out there some, but like every time you're running away from the table, you're not focused on trying to play. So I'm trying to
way to a match, and you're getting a tablet handed to you.
I'm trying to play as fast as I can just so I can get back because I don't want to let anybody down up there. And then it was even worse trying to play doubles because if it's singles, it's on me and I can live with like, oh well, I sucked that game, whatever, go back. But if I'm on doubles, it's like somebody else paid to play in this. Somebody else came and expected me to throw well as they know that I can throw. And it's not worth it to them. So
that's exactly why. Exactly what you just said. When you're letting somebody down. So I've been playing league with Bourbon and Rockwall, right? It's AB league. I was like, hey,
he can probably carry you a little bit, right?
I mean, a little bit to a couple podium finishes, that's for sure. And so we've been playing league, right? And when I first started playing, I was so nervous because you would think, and it's the direct opposite of what you would think. If you're getting a 12 from the other end, you're like, shit, this is an easy game.
Right.
No, that makes it so much harder. Because I started thinking about Justin does play cornhole full time, right? So when I miss a bag, I'm playing with his income. That great, so like that gets in here, and you're like, if I don't make this bag, I essentially gave Justin an unpaid day off.
Well, weren't y'all first place, and then like you had a baby? You were having a baby,
so
you couldn't make it.
We were first seed. So actually that is, I've qualified a couple times since then for the tournament champions, but so we finished first overall placement in standings in league. And then the night before the season championship, we were playing another league in Wills Point at Tyler McDaniel's venue. And we were literally walking up to the boards at 7. Okay, my wife calls me and is like, hey, I'm in labor.
And you answered the same way.
Good time.
I got 6 games. I'll be right there.
I should have said, I'm at work right now, honey.
It doesn't work
I hauled ass, got home, and that was on Justin's birthday. So we missed that league championship that night. And then the next night, that was Monday. And then the next night was Tuesday, and it was the Rockwall Championship where we finished first.
I know you missed 2 league championships.
Yeah, both.
Wow.
Both. And all for the baby. So, it felt terrible.
Because he had to walk both of them, right?
Yeah. Well, he didn't get to walk.
Uh-oh.
If
There's
Justin
no
walks,
walk-in. There's no walk-in.
especially not for him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he ghosted, right?
Yeah, he ghosted.
Ghosted, that's
And what's
right.
funny is he
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
won like 2 or 3 games ghosting.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing him at Rockwell, and he was like this. And he's just walking with like a little, like a pissed off
and so I felt terrible. Of course, I mean, obviously he understands. You know, he's
you can.
he's one of the uncles to my kids too, right? I mean, he shares a birthday with my youngest, and so he is super understanding and everything. But it just felt terrible, right? I'm like, and not that the payouts are anything to write home about, right? If you win at the league championship, I think you get like $150 in open, right? It's not good, but it still feels like I let him down, right? So whereas you would think getting a 12 is super easy, it's not. And so playing against them all the time.
Well, you did let him down.
Oh, 100%.
But you had a reason.
100%.
Your wife actually let him down.
Yeah, it's all her fault.
You got an excuse.
That's the narrative I've been pushing for months.
When he gets
now.
older, he'll know why.
Right. And we'll blame him when he's older. Wyatt.
Yes.
And so playing against him now, especially now, we built the shop and we told Justin like, hey. So everybody, I remember actually I watched a podcast where John Sizzlepop was on here, right? He said, "Oh, Justin practices 4 hours a day." Bullshit.
Really?
Justin sleeps until 5. The only times he practices 4 hours a day is if we were going to league, and that's just because we're
so
playing.
he's a night out. He stays up late.
Oh yeah, we're up till 4 or 5 in the morning every night.
Jesus.
Every night.
I can't do that.
No, yeah, I can't
How
do
old are
it,
you?
but I'm somehow doing it.
44.
I'm 41, so yeah, dude, I can't.
It's starting to wear on me pretty bad. It's starting to wear on me pretty bad. But that's the only nights you have practice, and I'm like, dude, you're the undisputed number 1 player in TCL. Nobody has touched him in singles at that point at all, right?
Were you surprised that Sammy double dipped him?
Surprised isn't the word I would use.
I just didn't think that was gonna happen. Double dip.
Yeah, he sat for a long time, and all the SIGs this year, the board's been fast. This was the very sticky board, which is really indicative of Sandy's game, right? I think that probably got to him a little bit.
What bags was Sammy using when he beat him? Do you remember?
Envies, I think. It's either Envies or Rats. I don't know this sale. I don't know to know which one.
Okay.
They're like pink and yellow. But they, up to that point, Justin hadn't been practicing. I was like, look, dude, with all due respect, and I'm sure you're going to get as far as you want to go. But if you want to fast track that, practice. And so me and Luke made the decision right then, hey, we have 3 of the world's best players constantly in and out of the door.
Right.
Why don't we put some of our money to building them a shop?
Right.
And so, I talked to you about it, and then we talked about it. We're like, let's build it somewhere for them to throw indoors. Because, outdoors in the patio, it's unlevel.
And I say, my suggestion is we combine this video with, like, I'll go out to your place, get some footage there, you practicing, and then I'll go out to your place again and catch you in action doing your thing. Whatever it is. If you're doing an event, or I don't know, you're just running a league, just catch you in action. I won't go there to play. I just go there to just catch action.
Yeah,
and then just combine it together. That way people can see what y'all do.
Yeah. We definitely, so it'll be a little bit before we can do ours because Justin's out of town right now. They're going to the National this weekend, and then after that, I think his sister has graduation or something. So it'll be a little bit for his back. But yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, when we finally get all the cameras and stuff up and running, we're gonna have to have you out. Both of y'all have to come out.
I totally got inspired, like watching your setup here. I even told my wife I've got, I talked about those boards that we built the day before the tournament. Like I've got a set of those original ones, and I'm like,
this is awesome.
A table like this.
If you're in a cornhole podcast, you can't not have this. Like this is
great. We moved about 1.5 years ago out, and so I've got a 30 by 40 shop building that I'm not a shop guy, right? Like I'm not parking cars in there. I'm not doing woodworking in there. It's a hangout, and so it's become we're trying to train up to call it headquarters.
Oh, so you got woodworking skills?
No, none of that.
Okay.
None of that. This is purely, it's headquarters, and so I don't wear jerseys, but all my jerseys are hanging on the walls. I've got some lazy boys in there and TV, so we're trying to build that up. But that kind of thing, and that's where I say we're therapy, like it's bag therapy. Like I can come home from work and check in, and then I'm going out to the shop and just tinker around and just throw bags because I'm not caring too much if they go in. It's just it gives me something to get off of the 10
work
hours that I
mindset.
just had at work, going
There's no
home
money
to
on
that.
the line. There's no.
Yeah.
It's just back there.
And even better if I can get a buddy to come and just hang out and just walk back and forth
And that's exactly what we do. So my wife will get home usually around 7:15. She'll take the kids. We go in there into the shop and then in the garage, which is the bag shop, and knock everything out that we need to get done or whatever. We kind of whenever we get a drop number, we set a schedule, right? And then so we fulfill whatever it is we need to get done. If we get done faster, cool. Sometimes we slack off way too much and don't get enough done. But most days we're pretty good about getting what we need to get done, and then immediately we're all like, all right, let's go through.
That's cool. Is that
So-
your work and your free time is all and your family time is all right there.
Yeah,
That's badass.
yeah, it can be. I will say, I've struggled a lot. Maybe a little personal, but I've struggled a lot mentally recently with trying to find the balance, especially being a new dad, right? Of being a husband, a father. Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to get away from it because
Anyway, is struggling between the three, trying to be a husband, a father, and a business owner, right? And trying to be I'm obsessive, right? I'm super focused on whatever I get into. I'm 100% in no matter what. And so trying to do all three of those at the best, it's like.
But whenever
I feel
you
like
have
I
a
can
bad
always,
day at family time, you're still in the same place.
Right, and
You
it's
can't-
like I can
you
always
can't go to work and just because everything's there, right?
Yeah, and so it's always
Yeah.
like I can pick two up at the same time, but the third one falls. So I'm a bit like this past week, I've been a really good husband and a really good father.
Right.
I still have about 30 sets of these to close, and I have to do, they're coming to pick them up tomorrow morning. So tonight I'm gonna be cranking out bags.
How long does it take to do 30 sets? You think? Like uninterrupted.
Beginning to end.
Uninterrupted.
Beginning to end, probably for 30 sets, probably 10 hours.
You said to close, so you're talking.
Yeah, so they're filled. Everything's
It's
still
the
filled. And
last
thank
scene.
God for Luke, my co-owner, Luke Norris. He's been there because she's had Mother's Day, so she's in jewelry, right? So Mother's Day came up. She's had an extended hours. She's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. She's been crazy busy, so I've had the kids all day by myself. And by the way, I'm super happy to be here. Super happy to be out of the house. Woo!
Yeah.
But
some away time.
So she's been working extended hours, so I haven't been able to step away to get into the shop and make bags and stuff. So Luke's come over a couple days in a row and started knocking stuff out himself, which normally we're all like very extroverted, so it's like nobody really wants to go in there and make bags by themselves.
Right.
Like I can't, my mom can't be alone with my thoughts and drive me insane. And so he's come in and knocked out a bunch of it, and he's got them all ready. I'm the only one that does closing seams. Like I've just worked on it, which is why they look as good as they do now.
Right.
But
You take pride in it.
yeah, absolutely. Which it's so funny because when they're all in there, I'll talk with Logan and Justin. They'll all be sitting there and be like, "Hey, look at this one. This one looks great." And they're like, "Who cares?" I'm like, "Screw you. Give it back, man.
Right.
You don't have appreciation for closing seams."
Yeah.
And so like I said, I procrastinate because I have. I was a good husband, and I made sure dinner was ready when she got home, and I played house husband.
That is
right?
pretty good. I mean, you do pretty. It's almost like a viper, like a.
I try, yeah, ultra. So we have the joke in the shop. We call it ultra close.
Everybody loves the way ultra goes.
Yeah, and we're trying to get it as smooth as possible. I am trying to get it as smooth as possible.
And when you say smooth as possible, do you mean like
So
consistent, or because or is the goal really to have all four sides look
I would
as
love to
close
make it
as
look like
possible?
it's a seamless bag.
Okay.
But the machine I have just isn't capable of that. And not that any machine.
I love the
is
seams.
like that.
That's my sweet spot. Find the seam, and then I know how I'm holding
Me
the bag.
too.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it.
And,
or do
and that's
anything
the
else.
other part, right? I want people that hold the seam to feel like this is the exact same every
Right.
single time. And so working on that, I'm the only one that does that. So now I've got boxes and boxes of bags to close. And so like before I ran out of the house today, I'm like, oh well, I want to display these. So I was like, get them closed real quick and bring them. But I always struggle to pick up that third one, and so I'll go pick up that third one, and then one will drop. Right? I don't spend as much time talking to my wife on the way home because I was with the kids all day.
There's never
and
enough
I was
time.
making bags, and so I've struggled with that a lot recently. So it is really cool in concept, but I was like, it's a grass always greener situation. I built exactly what I thought would be just awesome. My business, my family, my friends, everybody I'm close with, my hobby, everything all in one spot.
You don't have any getaway spot.
Yeah.
'Cause it's all
Yeah.
there.
So it's like, I mean, this is the first time getting out of the house, other than like making a grocery run for more diapers and stuff. Since I think I did that on Wednesday or Thursday, maybe. This is the first time getting out of the house.
See, that's an advantage of having a girlfriend. Like, if it's before getting married, is like if you get into an argument, you just go to each other. You go home, I go home.
You go
right?
home at
And
exactly.
your wife,
Exactly.
you're in the same house.
Better figure it out.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go to the couch and you go to the room, but you're still
Yeah.
the tension is still there. You know.
Yeah, and then and again, it's like I go to work, right? And we've had arguments about this, and I, of course, I'm temperamental as shit, right? And so she'll like, hey, will you come help me with the kids? I'm like, I'm working. She's like, okay, well, just come help me real fast. I'm like, I'm in a groove. I'm gonna keep working. Or and then there's times where I will go help the kids, then I come back and now I'm not getting done what I need to get done on my schedule, and then it's like, okay, I do both of those things. Well, now I'm gonna suck at league this week because I didn't spend any time throwing bags, and now I feel like I let Justin down, and it's just the grass
That's why
is
it's
always
like-
greener.
That's
The
why
grass
the
is
young
always
kids
greener.
are the best right now, man, because they ain't got that. They don't have that.
Right.
Yeah. I will say the ability to throw stress free is immaculate. Like, and I've actually talked to Justin about that. So but he's made more income this year than a lot of people his age make in any other job they're doing.
And he doesn't
Right.
spend it.
And he doesn't. He doesn't spend anything. And
His diet probably consists of just chips and Dr. Pepper.
that's
Right?
pretty accurate.
Chips and Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, or whatever I cook. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Because we'll do a grocery order. We'll all be sitting there Sunday night. None of us do anything. We'll put a big grocery order together. None of us have time to go grocery shopping, so we do the Instacart pickup thing, right, where they deliver it. And so we'll sit there, and Michaela's like, I want this for one meal this week, and I'm like, oh, I want this. Justin, what do you want? I don't care. The whole time, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it literally won't say a peep, and then he'll go, oh, make sure you get Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And a bag of Takis.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm like, oh. And he likes everything, so he's not hard to please by any means.
How do you balance? What do you do at Lockheed Martin? Is that where they make jets?
Well, they do.
Make a
They
lot of
make
stuff.
in Fort Worth. They make jets.
Oh, like TI, something like that.
Well, Lockheed Martin's the largest defense contractor probably in the world. Locally in Fort Worth, they make the F-35s and the fighter jets and other airplanes. I work in Grand Prairie Missile Systems, so I've spent most of my career doing guidance and navigation for interceptors. So one missile knocks down another missile, and for the last 4 years, I've been running one of our interceptor programs.
What do you think about the whole this whole hypersonic missiles?
What about them?
Like, is it true like they are the cutting edge of like we have to figure out how to stop that because it's just so freaking fast? Yeah.
You're gonna get me in trouble, CJ.
You
So
can indirectly answer the question.
let me just say this: the speed isn't necessarily the problem.
Really? I thought that was the whole thing.
They're fast,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Just destruction.
So
Because you know what? Recently, I don't know if you know this, but intelligence, Ukraine got some intelligence about, I think it's either they got some badass intelligence or Russia was just too dumb to realize they were doing something in a pattern that eventually just made sense. So they would always send 2 jets to go bomb like Ukraine and 2 helicopters behind them to like rescue in case one of them gets shot down. And I guess they were just on a clock order. They would just keep on doing it every day at a certain time. And so I guess slowly but surely Ukraine moved their missile defense systems closer to that border. Because they expected that way over here where they're bombing at, but then they didn't expect it right at the border. And so they took off, boom,
Boom,
they
boom.
killed all 4 of them. The jets and the helicopters. So, pretty cool shit. Yeah, intelligence. So this guy right here has got a bunch of intelligence.
He probably knows
And he
what
has to
missiles
be-
they use to shoot him.
And he has to balance all this intelligence gathering and all this planning and stuff with running Cornhole community. Still have time for that, and then still have time to go run Chad's, little cornhole game at Irving Convention Center.
Little,
thing.
just little, no,
But that's why Chad gets to have a good time out there because he found the right team to run this thing for him, and he can go out there with the people and just have a good time.
yeah, I mean, I'll say
It's still a lot of money coined for him.
I will say that we've finally that group at the table, I think, has finally built up the trust for them to just stay out of the way and let us do it. And that's good for TCL. When Chad can be out there doing Chad things,
Yeah.
and and being
Somebody's gotta
and
do it.
entertaining everybody else, and Jason can do what Jason does, and we can be left alone to just make sure that all those different brackets are going, and that everything is working, and we've got we're tracking everything for payouts, and we've got all the courts realigned, and we can just focus on that, and we don't even have to have them constantly asking, did you do this? We've done this, we've got this. And and it didn't happen overnight,
No.
because those guys have built something, they're proud of what they've done,
Yeah.
and they've got good ideas and have done a lot of it. But we've taken the current setup within Scorholio and be able to we've got a system of how that table needs to be run now, and I think that they've seen the benefits of it and have.
Who ran it last year? Was it the Dallas region?
They
Austin?
helped. They helped.
So
They
Austin,
were just helping. Man.
yeah. No, it's always been it has been.
Well, it's always been Nick and everybody, but
Yeah,
they
it has
helped
been.
out last year, right? The Dallas region.
Well, I wouldn't even say it was Dallas region. I think it was just AP helped quite a bit at the booth, or AP and John I think helped quite a bit, and then Marie had always been a helper, I believe.
Yeah, she's
right?
always been.
So
So, but it's a good group, and there's. I guess I don't have a huge view of all the other people that are running tournaments of that magnitude all around the country, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a lot of them, and I don't think that there's anybody that can. There's nobody else that can run our events better than those of us that are up there right now.
And then balance the partiness to it. Because sometimes if you let people get too carried away, they just freaking take over. But
Sure.
if you crack the whip right, which you've been doing,
Yeah.
sure.
it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to, I mean, what they've built to. Because I think one of the biggest things, and I'm sure you felt it. I mean, I feel it. I felt it in my previous business, was when to relinquish power to a certain extent and put the people in place that do what they do. Right. Well, obviously, you're a very analytical, well thought out person with more structure. Chad's more of a visionary. He sees something, he has to go get A, B, C, D, E, F, G ideas
And he's a talker.
find the best, right? So he's not doing the marketing side to be innovative, to find the new ideas, and then you have the team in place with the structure to make those ideas a reality. And I mean that's the success behind any of these big organizations, is putting the people in place where they fit best.
I like how he talks. So he's like if he's playing, he'll talk shit to you, when he's playing.
Chad's a menace.
Yeah, and he'll be like for example, he'll be like, yeah, so I'm gonna kick your ass. And what I mean by that is he just.
Dude, so Chad, okay, so I made this passive aggressive comment about coin flipping a couple minutes ago. So Chad, okay, one of the very first events I went to, he coin flipped me, and I was like, I watched him do it, and I was like, that's dumb, but it's better odds in a casino, and I blow money there. So I was like, okay, and he was like, come on, coin flip. I was like, fine. That's the only time he's ever asked me to coin flip. Now I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Now I find him, and I am down so much money to that fool.
I don't fucking
Coin flip
I don't even try it. Man.
And I played him 2 times in Signature Series in advanced, and both times. So the very first time was at State last year in Irving, and we walk up to the board, and he's like, all right, heads or tails. I was like, side and back. He goes, and $100.
Wow.
So I put it down. I won that one, and then we won the game. I was like, oh, sweet
Really?
victory.
I've never
So
been able to beat
I
him.
felt like I was winning, right? And then I go and coin flip them, and I was down like 600-700 after that.
What?
It was-
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, it gets better.
Ooh.
And then I play him in Lubbock. And then he comes up and he was like, all right, he's like, you ready to spin it back? I was like, oh, no. That's not what we do. I was like, we're coin flipping. So we flip. I won the thing. He goes, let's play a cash game. I was like, no, you're probably going to beat me. Just flip the coin and we're going to take the money. I won that one. And I think I lost $500 or $600 to him in Lubbock. And then I chased him down at the VIP booth, the VIP Dos Equis section, in Irving this past SIG. And I lost like $400 or $500 to him then.
What the hell, bro? You got a problem.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
We it was a SIG a couple years ago, and we just started finals, and so we always start this was back before we split before we were doing singles finals on Friday night. So like once we get into finals format, like we're running through singles through all the way through, right? And we're up there, and the finals are going on, and all of a sudden there's this this huge cheer and everything, and we're like, dude, the championship games are going on right here. And you look over, and there's Chad in the middle of the scrum, and I don't know how much, there was thousands of dollars on the ground, and they're flipping coins, and they're like 10 people deep, a full circle around. Like, you've got finals with nobody watching, and then you've got coin flipping going on with the whole crowd. So we told Chad, if you're gonna coin flip now, you got to do it before the finals because we want people watching the finals.
See, you even cracked the whip on the arm.
Sometimes.
Sick Mesquite is I live in Forney, right? So we didn't get a hotel for that one. Just drove back to the house 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of our sponsor players from West Texas: Peyton Lopez, P Money, and Mario Hurtado. Mario, that boy is a gambler, and I promise you, every sig that you ever see him at, he's already gambled $3,000 to $4,000 at least. So we come in. So they were like, hey, I told them, hey, don't worry about booking a hotel. Right back with us. Stay at the house. That way you ain't gonna pay for a hotel. We come in after singles. We're getting in at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because Justin decides to win everything. So we're stuck there at the event until he's done.
Right.
So we're driving back. We get back to the house 1 or 2 a.m. Mario walks in. We all sit down on the couch. That long day, that first. Mario goes, boy, I busted that ass, and he's got $6,000. This is Friday night, right?
Busted whose ass?
Cash games?
No, coin flips. Really? $6,000, right? That night. So we go back Saturday, doubles, do our thing. Justin, Sammy, and the shit, take it down. Super late. We all go out to eat after, come back to the house. We all sit back down. And I was like, man, I said, Mar, how much you end up with? And he was like, fuck Chad.
Really? You got it back?
He said, I ain't got none of it, really.
Wow. Oh, it's like a casino. It just keeps coming out.
Yeah, dude. The coin flipping thing is crazy. And I'm super, like I said, I have an addictive personality, man. I get hooked on that stuff. It's so stupid.
What are the other things that are kind of like, when running a tournament, that you're like, would you change, or you would like,
Yeah.
stuff that's behind the scenes that, you would.
So there's a couple of asks in Scorholio that would help us, and we've built enough reputation with them that a lot of the things that we've asked have already been implemented. There's nothing more time consuming and stressing than when we are trying to move courts around. And so move courts around, not physically, right? But like, we run everything from one control panel, and
like you specifically wanted at this board.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And so when we're switching between different brackets, because hey, we're running behind over here, we need to add some courts over there. That process is stressing, just because as soon as you switch it from remote mode, you've got to trust that sometimes people move our tablets, like they don't line up with the numbers, and so when what we see from the control panel doesn't necessarily reflect what's on the courts, and so because they've moved some, but when we go to set up, like when we finish all the rounders for singles, we have a layout. Chad and Nick work really hard pre-tournament to say, hey, courts 9 through 16, they're going to go on, open singles, the whole way. Every single board is pre-allocated to one of the brackets, right. and so each of those are listed as a different event within Scorholio. Well, in between rounders and bracket play, we reshuffle those courts. And so, now we have to go through and we have to, change them within Scorholio. That part is, the most stressing. What we want to be able to do is just have a file that we can reload and just say, one time, hey, this is the configuration for the next one, and change everything. But it's coming, it's growing.
So it's definitely something that you could tell them and they could just put it into the queue.
I mean, yeah, right. But the use case, is always the problem for them, because they've got a lot of other things to do, and our use case is you kind of unique to us and what we're doing.
Is TCL, and you may or may not know this, is TCL Scorholio's biggest customer? I mean, obviously single customer, because I know they're all over the country and whatever. Yeah. But is TCL like their cash cow?
I can't answer that, but I know that we've built a good enough relationship with Ben and Nick and those guys out there that when TCL makes requests, they at least get some attention.
Right.
But
it's not just another customer service.
Yeah, no.
The reason ACL doesn't use them is probably because ACL couldn't buy them and they like to own everything, or what? Is that what it is?
I don't know about the purchase side. I know that ACL did just launch a new player app that seems extremely similar as far as functionality, not look and everything, but functionality goes. It looks this exact same as Cornhole. They posted on Facebook a couple days ago, or maybe today even, and there's a mobile app where you can click and find events, you can use a free play, you can find directors, you can find payouts, you can do like all this stuff that you could previously do by navigating the maze that is the iPlay ACL website. And so they looks like they're launching a competing app.
I think that the best thing that's ever happened to the signature events is the adaptation into qualifying rounders into brackets. Just because, I'm all about value, right? And if we're asking people to be there for the amount of time that we put them there, when we were running brackets, it was always like trying to stick to a timeline when you're basing it off of bracket is really hard because there's a lot of uncertainties that come with how long a game takes, and one game on a bracket here in the winner's bracket can slow off everything.
Right.
And so, by doing rounders first, guaranteeing games, and then guaranteeing that you're going to have a 2-hour break and then come back. Not everybody loves that, right? Because you get hot, and so many people come back to us and they're like, "Oh, I was throwing so good, and then I went and had 10 beers at lunch." I'm like, "Well, maybe that was your problem." But
what about those people that let's say they know that the person they're playing didn't show up, and that you're supposed to 21-0, but instead they just start practicing, or they're hoping that everybody else starts losing, and then is that possible? Does that actually help?
So in rounders, stuff like that happens because inevitably, one pre-register
bracket plays are going.
In bracket play, it doesn't happen as much just because we've already weeded out the people that just didn't show, right? By the time you get into bracket, we expect most of those people to come through. And in general, people will pause, but we're also watching. We have timers on every court from our display, so we can see, hey, that score, that game hasn't started because the timer is still on. The timer's up to 17 minutes. Someone walk out there and see what's going on.
Okay.
And so, that rarely happens because more of the times than not, people want to play. So they come up and they're like, "I've already buzzed them 6 times and they're not here." I'm like,
I was about to say a lot more impatient.
Why? Just come here. Here's general rule for anybody that ever plays a SIG, right? You go out there, they don't show in 5-10 minutes, come tell the table. We make an announcement, we typically say, "Hey, you got 2 minutes to go there." Long enough for you to walk back, wait, and then come tell us. Because at that point, if we don't know that someone's not there, so that second call when you say, "Hey, we've called them twice, they're not there," we will add to their display name that says, "Not here." One, that triggers, if it's you and you see, "Wait, not here, what the heck?" You're going to come fix it with us. It also triggers the next person to just recognize, hey, they're not going to be here. And then the other thing that really throws it off is, people that do try to go out there and they, you said enter 21-0. Really, the only way to properly enter those games is for us to override the system at the table and write and put the score in.
So then it doesn't affect statistics.
Right. Yeah. And so, and people have learned, we've learned how to communicate that better, and that'll constantly be but to do, I guess the other part of SIG Game Changers is pre-registration, because if you can imagine 5 years ago, every single one of those players had to come and check in at the table, take money, enter you into bracket lobe manually at that point, right? And then next please. And I mean, it was
so Shreveport sold out, right?
No. This for the conference?
Yeah.
Conference isn't sold out.
Singles and doubles isn't sold out?
I ran pre-registration analysis early this week, and there were still spots.
Really? Okay.
Man,
Wow.
I registered as soon as it dropped because I was like, I'm not listening.
Okay.
I think well, so you know, they opened that up. I think they opened it up before we ran Irving, right? So
Yeah, they did.
I think there was some confusion just about, hey, what am I signing up for?
Right.
And so, I ran it early in the week. As soon as we were done, I started looking at. So I'll take all of the entries and I'll run them through scripts that compare them with what the baseline of your TCL tier, right? So we snapped a line, I think, from a March date that said these are the tiers for the rest of the season. We're not going to update tiers through the season. You know, I think with some kind of caveat that says, you know, outside of some crazy circumstances where your PPR jumped, you know, 2, you know, from 6 to a 9, we're not, you know, but so in general, so I'll take all of the registrations, download them, compare them back against, and then flag the ones that are misrepresented.
Okay.
And so in general, you know, the people that have a tier, in general, those are the easy ones because, you know, hey, dude, you know you're a B, you can't play, you know, you can't play competitive.
Hey,
You know,
what's the rules on coaching? I know you can't do it in singles, right? Like in singles, you can't coach. Like if I'm playing you, Glenn can't tell me what to
Yeah.
do, right?
I mean, I don't know. I've never really seen it enforced. I'm sure that people complain, but I'm pretty, like in singles, that's right. Like you're on, and that's why you get 2 timeouts in singles,
Right.
because you have that opportunity to go, you know, check it out. In doubles, you know, without knowing it right in front of me, there are certain rules that I have very well memorized, but you know that one isn't the one.
Or if there's a timeout, let's say I'm playing you and we take a timeout, can he come coach me? Or you still can't
In
coach
singles,
me? Yeah.
yeah, I think coaching is a whole different
Just
thing.
out.
I think it's out, and I think even in doubles, like your communication should be
Just
with
and
your partner.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without any of the outside influences. But you know, that's I don't know, it's part of the game, right? I mean, you've got there's plenty of guys out there that are their gamesmanship is at a different level. And you know, and if I find something that's gonna bug you just a little bit and I can make you think about something else, then
Sure.
you know, if it's within the rules, I'm gonna probably use it.
Oh,
like
yeah,
if,
sure.
like if your foot steps over that line, hey, you know you can't cross the line.
Right.
And you know, some people just blow up about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Some
Yeah, they
people
do.
get super frustrated.
What do you think about the music?
I mean, we've pushed hard to make it playable in all venues. We're close. I know that they have kind of a more approved playlist, but you know, as it gets to the end of the night and Herrera starts creeping up on the stage, you sit down there, you know.
Exactly.
We're all like, what?
Yeah. Herrera went up there as a DJ, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think
He's pretty good at it. He's good.
it's gotta be. I think it's gotta have more oversight once there starts to be a real push for advancement in the sport, as far as scholastically or whatever, right? Because no school district in the country, in the world, is going to send kids where, you know, WAP is being played unedited.
Like it's got full
or-
cuss words.
Yeah.
Well, so
whatever.
and for the record, I know for a fact that they've been conscious of that, as you know, if we're gonna go to sponsors, right? We're gonna have those.
Right.
If we're gonna invite the guys from Dos Equis to come and you know pay attention to what's going on and find out what your money went, like yeah, we want the party environment, but there's certain lines that and 100% they've gotten, but there is now on those iPads there's a playlist that is the playlist that has everything,
Non-explicit.
right? But
Yeah.
it doesn't stop somebody from you know, and we try to you know keep as many people up, but
What
it
about
happens.
hiring a DJ that can actually like mix in music and actually like make it still sound cool?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he can mix in Eminem with I don't know, Mark Wahlberg. I don't know.
So we've done.
Well, that sounds like the farthest from
Yeah.
explicit as you get.
I'm just saying, he
actually.
can mix it in and it
Yeah.
sounds great. Take the cuss words out. You know, it's not the same old song over and over.
Yeah.
Instead of a full song.
No,
Well,
I
and
think-
there's plenty of edited songs that like those playlists are miles and miles long of songs that you can get, because if you can hear it on the radio, it's probably fine to be played, right? But anything on public radio doesn't have anything more. The same as the PG-13 rule, right? Or and maybe PG rule, like you can't say anything more than damn or hell, and then it's still considered non-explicit at that point. Anything past that.
I don't think, at least the last 2 hours, like you say, just hire a DJ.
Yeah, that could And we've done that at events that we've run. Had a DJ out there just because it's just another. It's another thing that keeps people, and it's one less thing that we have to worry about, right? Like, hey, look, you got requests, you got whatever. This is the guy, and he's playing everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Or just fuck a request. This is the DJ's stuff.
Well, DJs are normally good, right? Because that's how DJs make tips.
Yeah.
If they honor your request, you're way more likely to drop a 20 in their jar.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's just at the desk. That's one of the most irritating things ever. You're sitting there working on 70 chords need to be moved around. This here. This is not here. And then somebody's like, "Hey, will you play Fetty Wap?" And you're like, "Go away."
It was. We didn't realize that the speaker right next to us was off for a while, and so we're up there and it's still loud. Like the whole place is just loud. Yeah. And all of a sudden, someone's like, "Oh, this one's not playing." They turn it on, and like the whole table shaking. We're like, "Yeah, we can do without that one right there."
Yeah, unplug it.
It was so bad, but I did. I mean, the contrast of that environment with some of the videos that I watched from this weekend in Fort Worth. I mean, like just the sounds.
It's so quiet there, dude.
Yeah, I think, and there's
So
there's a rule in high school football, right? You can't, and college football too, where there's a lot of bands and stuff that play, like the actual marching band and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play once the ball is snapped. Right. I'd almost be more indicative of something like that. Maybe like you can't do it on a championship or something like that. But even
how does that? Except for we've got 3 championships going at the same time.
True. Mm-hmm. But like ESPN, it makes sense. So like for me, if there was the ACO what the ACO could do would be in your out there bracket play. Okay, let there be music, let there be whatever. But once you get to just one court, whatever, that's where there's no.
Because they don't want to worry about copyrights.
I would imagine that's probably.
Yeah.
But
TCL don't give a shit about copyrights and music. Yeah, but Facebook does. Like, that's the thing that sucks. I used to try to go live at a TCL event, but I just don't because it just shuts you off.
Yeah.
So now I just record it, on my regular camcorder.
So you go live enough. Does putting on Facebook, "I do not own rights to the music," actually save you from being shut down?
It's never worked for me.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I see everybody put that, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, it worked for some people, but I just think they got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hadn't caught it yet.
Yeah.
The filters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, the music, the party environment, I think it to be honest, for the most of the players, the casual players, I think it's more of a relaxing environment that way. If it, like you said, I saw some videos you're talking about from Fort Worth and the ACL event. It is stone cold silent, and that's fine when you're a professional, right? If you really want music, you'll put.
Yeah, those guys are listening to whatever they want to listen to anyway.
Right. But if you're Logan and you want to hear the noise of the guy behind you that's chirping at you and it fuels you to hit, 7 bar soaps in a row, then okay, you can do that too. But that's more of a professional setting. When you're talking about social and comp, nobody's paying the $500 for a hotel, the $100 in gas, and all the fees just to come up there and be a professional.
And so, I mean, the other side of that is when you're thinking about along those lines, how many people has the loud environment and the party scene and, how many people don't come back because they're like, oh, it's just too fun. Right. Because there's spots where you can always get away from it.
It really is just a freaking party.
Yeah. But and it's a party with it's a very unique dynamic, right? Because there is people there that are playing for their livelihood. But it's also, for those of us, the rest of us, it's a spectator sport, right? It's a spectator sport where you get to go out and do it. It's going to the Rangers game and playing in the wiffle ball home run derby while the actual pros are doing their thing, and you get to go watch them at the end, right?
Well, you do know that you guys are gonna have a match tonight, right? Today.
Me and JD?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I say we go over there, and I'd like for y'all to use the same bags, but I think.
Well, you've heard my story. I'll throw any bags.
Yeah.
Give me those TCL red and white ones up there.
Okay. So we'll do that. Y'all can both throw the old school TCL.
All right. Fair enough. Well, before we go. I do want to touch on the bags you got in front of us here. So these are gonna be dropping pretty soon. This is Olympus's drop of the C4C bags. So JD, if you'll tell us a little bit about the Pillars for Community program y'all have, and we'd like to tell what everybody we got going on.
C4C. C.
It's in there. You got to look close, but you'll find it in there. Anyway, thanks for being a part of it. C4C's been around for a long time. We kicked off this year a new initiative, a scholarship initiative called Pillars. And what we're doing is we're looking for named individuals that are willing to stand up and say, hey, look, I'm supportive of what these guys are doing. I'm supportive of the next generation of leaders and charitable characteristics. And so what we've done with Pillars is we've opened it up and we're taking $100 donation from named individuals. Those folks will all be a part of it. Those folks will we want signatures from them. And then when we award, this year it's going to be 3 students scholarships of depending on where we end up numbers wise, right? Like right now those 3 kids are getting $3,000 each as going. If we can continue to grow Pillars between now and the end of June, those numbers will go up. That'll be more money that's going to these families, to these kids who have demonstrated in the classroom, in their community, leadership characteristics, that they are the type of person that represents C4C. And then at the end of the day, come back and they'll be the ones leading C4C. You talked about C4C franchising, right? Like, hey, wherever you go, you take C4C principles with you. You are caring for community there and doing that. Right. One of the cool things about these bags, right, that CJ has in his hand right now is that in a collaboration with C4C, TCL, and Olympus Cornhole, anybody that signs up to be a pillar between the airing of this show and 24 hours after that, all right, we're going to enter those names into a drawing. Yeah. And the winners of those drawings will get not only these designs, but they will be custom pillar designs, identifying them as a C4C pillar. So it'll be the same design with a inscripted pillar as a part of it. And we couldn't be prouder to be a part of this. I know that Glenn and I, we talked a year and a half ago, I think after a SIG in Denton in a hotel room of like, hey, what are you guys doing? And I got to share the whole story of C4C, and you told me then, hey, let's find a way that we can be a part of it.
Help you guys. And at that time we were not popular. We've done a great job growing and promoting and getting to what we have. But that's been my thing this whole time with Olympus is, yes, at some point I need to make money. But going on this, if I can help grow the sport, that's what I've always wanted to do. So I've always had a great appreciation for CJ and what he does with this show. He was kind of, I don't want to say the first podcast to do it, but the first in how he's done it. And to bring people on and between pros or manufacturers or owners or just influencers in the game or people on the come up, whatever. And I saw that's one thing that was super identifiable to me of C4C is like, there was the teams, right? The cartel, the rookies, the Why So Serious, the these, that, the other. But C4C, somebody that it seemed like a team, but it also actually has a purpose and a directive and everything. And I was like, I knew from the get-go, and that's, we talked in Denton while Herrera was doing Herrera things, about just how can we help do that? Like, I know our platform isn't, end all be all right now, and so it's almost, it sucks that it took so long to get it done, but at the same time, it's almost beneficial because now our platform is going to reach a lot more people.
That's awesome. To be able to do this and come out with some impact, and it's on the hottest bag in TCL right now. Yeah, we fight that stigma all the time of like, oh, you're a C4C guy, or and I'm like, right. No. C4C is a mentality. We're not a club. Right. I do run a TCL region down there, but that's because of geography. And giving people a chance to play, because the more people that play with us experience the kind of what we're doing. I mean, crap, every night at league night this season we've done a thing called bucket list, right? And so we take, everybody else does money shots and things like that. Well, we take the same principle where you pay and you put your name in the bucket, right? We ask $1 donation gets $1 on the slot, and then we randomly draw one of those numbers, and whoever's number gets pulled, you win that money. It's your money. You don't have to make a shot. You don't have to do anything. The only thing is that you've got to tell me what you did with the money.
Right.
And what it's been able to do has been amazing. I mean, so I say,
Help
hey,
somebody with gas
if
or
you
light
need-
bill or
if
something.
you need,
Yeah.
If you need that money to pay your rent, take that money. If you need that money to feed your kids, do that. If you don't, and you can help somebody else by buying the car behind
Pay
you,
it forward. Yeah.
we've had amazing stories coming out. We had one of our players bought. He's a resource officer at a school, and we took $144 and he bought 12 kids books from the book fair.
Nice.
And we had another guy that went to, bought everything off the Amazon wish list for a local animal shelter.
Oh, wow.
And we've had people take that money and buy lunches for nurses at a clinic. I mean, amazing stuff, and it's just getting started. And that's the heart of our people. So to say that you can be C4C, you could be C4C, like
Right.
it's not about where you play and who you play with. The only reason we want our stuff on logos is because we want people asking, hey, what is that? And then you
Right.
can tell them, hey, you should find those guys and find out how you can be a part of.
Right.
And it's not about that I need big numbers at tournaments or anything. I just want to get as much money into the community, supporting those people with needs as we can.
Yeah.
And period.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We'll start it off. Every set purchase, we'll donate some back to C4C. So if this drop sells out, we're dropping 48 sets, 30 sets of Kratos and 18 sets of Apollos.
Yeah.
If all those sell out, we'll do another drop. We can do a new design with C4C, and every single set that
Yeah.
sells, we'll be donating a portion of those back to C4C.
And that's a badass logo
That's
too,
awesome,
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a badass logo.
It's withstood the test of time. That logo is going on 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we being that
It almost looks like the 4 is on the corner of a cube, but then it gets deeper once you get more into it.
I will say, so the two colorway names. So actually, when JD and I were talking, messaging back and forth, I'm like, hey, design ideas, because I was out of ideas. Like, I'm not gonna dress it up. I was out of ideas and wanted you to just help me out. And he was like, well, this is our original logo. So I wanted to go with a design that's more traditional colors with a new spin, right? So you got the blue and teal, and that's the original logo you'll see. If you can, post a picture of your C4C PAs,
Okay, yeah.
and then we'll pull those in.
Oh yeah, you can send them to
And
me.
then this one is the reason why I originally contacted C4C is because I saw, and we had talked a little bit before that, and we had talked about that y'all have been in the game. You said since 2009.
Yeah. No,
Right,
there's a
so-
story there about the first TCL, the first event that Chad invited us to.
Mm-hmm.
We created a Facebook page after we did, to lead up into that first event, created the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And we got this random request from these guys up in Justin to say, hey, we run an organized, tournament, come play with us.
Right.
And that's how the partnership, and me and my buddy Matt almost got in a fight the first tournament because Jason Andrews and Chris Gardner couldn't keep score. And and now, ever since that event, we've had scoreboards at every tournament.
There you go.
then.
So this colorway is we named it Charity for Champions.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, I love it.
C4C. And just because these guys have been around the game, they're going to stay around the game, and we're going to do everything we can to help support them and continue keeping
Since
them.
2009, right?
Yeah, since 2009, and we're going to make sure we go to 2059 and even further.
Nice.
Right? And so the Champions for Charity colorway is just indicative of that y'all have been some of the most dominant and predominant charity organization out there.
Yeah, because cornhole has become a really viable fundraising method, right? And so, everybody can do it. We've seen lots of great fundraising things out there. So there's nothing unique about what we do, and I don't take pride in being bigger than anybody else's charity thing. It's just, we've proven how we do it, and if that encourages someone else to run cornhole as fundraisers, go do it. Give as much money away as possible. If you'd like our input on how we do it and how we maximize, sponsorships and donations, and inviting the backyard players because they've been scared off at other events, like everything that we do is about the players and opportunities to raise as much money as we can, to give away as much money as we can.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So then, all right. So last thing before we go and throw, then I'll extend the challenge. All right. So we all heard I have a gambling problem. So I'll challenge you in this game we're about to play.
Okay.
Oh, great.
$10 a point.
Okay.
Whatever
Wow.
points you let up,
Okay.
you have to donate that much to C4C, and I'll do the same.
Okay. I'm in
Look,
for that.
look at
do it.
that.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Hey, speaking of gamblers,
So we need a 21-20 finish regardless, right?
I ain't letting them point.
wow. Hey, you never told us. How did you meet Chad and Jason?
Me?
Well, yeah. How'd you meet them?
It was that blind cold call that said, "Hey, come play in this tournament at the Mule Barn."
Oh,
and
cool.
I still remember Matt Pruser and myself. We had no idea what we were getting into. We walk up in there, 88 teams in that first tournament. We were there all night, and I think we ended up finishing 4th or 5th, somewhere around there, before Matt made me go home for arguing the score.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, it's time for y'all to sign the board.
All right.
Look at that. So yeah, this ACL tournament that just happened had some people sign it, but they only sign in color. So since you guys came here, you sign it in black.
Okay, deal.
So bring it on over here to the table. You can bring it over here. Yeah.
I was like the second or third on your first board.
Yep.
So I gotta find a spot now.
All right. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Nice.
Alright, I'm gonna assign the spot where my first bag is more than likely gonna go.
Oh, wow.
Do the first $10 to C4C.
Cool. Look at that. Looks like a 007 C4C. Cool.
Heck yeah, man. Let's go.
All right. Let's get her done, son.
Go ahead.
A low block.
Woo! I don't know if I can get an and one from this. Yeah, well,
Ooh.
it's not too bad.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
You know what's crazy? The whole thing.
I feel bad.
Yeah, like, cause I don't want to say sticky, because they're not exactly sticky, right? But they.
All right, we're live here then.
Live.
Yeah, live.
Go ahead, sir.
All right.
Winner take all right here.
Terrible.
We're at $10 a point.
$10
a point.
$10 a point. Dude, that was nice.
Oh no. You didn't have to throw a 12 first frame.
Nice. You had to be in.
I'm down 80.
Dude, look at that. 4-bagger with an old school bag.
I'm just a hack.
So 12 minus 4 tells me that's 8.
Yeah.
All right, I am good at math.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh.
Ooh, you're right there.
What?
Ooh.
Oh.
Dude, he snuck in there.
I gotta shoot that, right?
Man,
If I miss, I give up 2. Unless I just.
I would just try to do what he just did. 'Cause
No, but that's not cool.
those things are just... Oh. Is that 2 more?
Yeah.
All right, 10-0, right side.
Jaws of life here, no drag.
Perfect block.
That's my shot.
Come on.
Oh, dude, you almost did it.
What you think, CJ? Draggable? Probably not.
Mathematically speaking, yes, but probably not.
All right, bet. Shoot it anyway.
Oh, someone's starting to feel it.
Hey, I got 2.
Yes, sir.
That was a hard 2.
10 to 2.
Earn them.
2 to 10, right side.
Hey, push back. Oh no. See if I can add one. I highly doubt it. Whew! 2 more. 12-2.
12-2.
You're getting CJ's fancy bags on Thursday.
I think it's honestly it's his break-in method. These bags have been broken in not per the manufacturer's guidelines. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh.
Skip right over. That was a beautiful collect.
It was.
Oh!
Is that 6 spot?
Yeah.
Jeez.
18-2.
If you wanted it to be 21-20, you better start missing.
There you go.
We're getting there.
You got a hanger. Oh! Look at you.
6 for you.
6, there we go. Back on the board.
18-8. Some loud ass bags too.
They are, yeah. You can hear all the ball resins. That's not good.
Oh, I like that. That was a knuckleball. Oh!
I almost racked you. See, my ball. Oh, I gotta drag this. That's not good.
Oh.
What was that? 7 on 2, 5. So it's 22-8.
Look at that.
All I hear is
Cha-ching.
$220. All right.
Nice.
220 it is.
well, plus my 8, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so
you
we're
got-
$300.
Yeah.
Sounds like that would be enough for 3 pillars. I'm already a pillar.
Olympus is about to be a pillar.
I'm gonna pill myself or pillar.
There you
We'll
go.
get the site up there, the link out
Yes.
there. We need to do that.
I'm gonna pillar that shit up.
Good stuff, man.
Good job, fellas.
Thank you.
Good freaking job.
All right, I'm grabbing a setup, but I actually want to go get sit back.
Let's do it. All right, this is the battle of the Aries. It's 3-0.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yes.
Nice.
Just play that on a loop over and over, CJ. Oh. Glenn trying to hustle me.
Oh!
Hey, remember what I talked about, that gamesmanship?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Glenn just got chatted. So what is it, 4-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One there.
4-0 left side. Good blocker. Just had a supersonic. Nice. It's a good way to end it. So 8-0.
I need to start landing my blocks. Or let you block. Okay.
I was being facetious.
So you said you wanted. Ooh.
Ooh.
5 spot.
Well, you only have one.
Whatever you do, don't land on the cactus.
Oh, yeah, do that.
So-
Land on the cactus.
So 14-0 left side. Great bag.
Hemorrhaging points, 3.
17-0. No skunk. No skunk.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what's the score?
17-0.
Oh, no, we can't let skunk happen.
Yeah.
Just kidding, we might.
Oh my god. Hey, what sound does a skunk make anyways?
You
I don't even
probably
know.
just like hang their head in sorrow and go, I suck.
Well, let's see. Those are some sexy bags though. Jesus.
Yeah, they are.
We need to release that colorway.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, we got some
That's the stamp right there.
special edition.
Yeah, they were for
Chicos.
CJ's birthday, where instead of a spear, he's got a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's a cowboy right there.
And his shield, he's got Chico's on his shield. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
we haven't done a, I mean, I guess mask off, but like we haven't had a Chico's on a bag, have we? In TCL?
A Chico's on a bag?
Yeah. Like your actual Chico's logo?
Oh, no.
Well, then let's do those for steak. Or release those at League Championship.
Let's do it. Let us do it.
Fight.